Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you, everybody. If you would, could all please rise for the presentation of the colors? I would like to invite Skylar Carroll, daughter of Fire Chief Carroll, to come up and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Oh, she's here. Beat me up here.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Skylar. If you would remain standing, I would like to introduce Father Carlos, our chaplain, to present an invocation.
O Almighty God, whose providence and wisdom embrace creation, as we gather here this evening, we recall your goodness in giving us this nation, its leaders, this town, and the men and women who defend our freedoms and exemplify our responsibilities. We come to you with true gratitude for your gifts. We are grateful for the lives and work of these, our brothers and sisters. We know that all things, including advancement in our callings, lies in your hands. We confess that due diligence in carrying out our duties depends upon you. So we ask that you would guide these men and women in present duties and direct their future. Help them to use their talents you have given them and to continue to be an asset to our community. Watch over all law enforcement officers, firefighters, and all who serve and protect our community. We recommend them to your care because their jobs can be challenging and dangerous. Grant them your protection. We ask to bless their families and loved ones for their pride in the work of these, our brethren, and their patience with its challenges. May St. Florian, St. Michael, and all your holy angels watch over those who watch over our community. We offer you this prayer in your most holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you all for being here this evening. This is an exciting night. This is probably one of the best parts of my job. It is a proud night to honor those who served for so many years and to celebrate those who are being promoted after diligent efforts to get to those points. These things don't happen easily, and we're so proud. I want to thank all of our first responders, police and fire, who go out every day regardless, through pandemics, through crime, through strife, whatever they face, tragedy, they're there for us. Just today, right after a meeting with the chief and fire chief, I get a call, we have a gas leak, and our police and firefighters are right out there in the middle of everything, ensuring public safety. And I can tell you that as a town manager, the dependence that I have on my first responders is tremendous. Public safety is paramount when you're in any role in local government. And I can tell you that I have a phenomenal team around me to guide me in my job to ensure that I do the best that I can do for public safety. I can't do what I do without the tremendous talent of the people I have around me. Chief McNamara, Chief Carroll, Deputy Chief Holmes is here, just Assistant Chief McComber, but that doesn't take away from the frontline people who I see in the back, our patrolmen, our firefighters on the line. Everybody is critical in the operation, and I can't thank you all enough. But tonight, we're here to celebrate retirees who dedicated their lives and to thank their families for sharing them with us for so many years. and we're here to celebrate promotions. I don't want to take up much time, so I'm going to ask the chairman of our select board, Joe McCrisky, to come up and say a few words, and then we will move on with the ceremony. I would like to just take a moment to thank our onstage guests for joining us. We have Representative Ted Phillips, Representative William Galvin, Senator Walter Timilty, and Congressman Stephen Lynch was gracious enough to join us as well this evening. And I would like to thank them, and of course our select board. So with no further ado, Chairman McCrisky.
Thank you, Robin. You took the wind out of my sail a little bit because we don't often, yes, please everybody be seated. We don't often get an opportunity to have our congressman with us, our senator, both of our representatives in one room. And I kind of geek out on history, and I've been accused of that many times. But to quote the late great Tip O'Neill, that all politics was local. And when we have our folks in the room, shows that connection that goes right up to the halls of Congress and access to the President of the United States through our congressman, and to have our legislative delegation always engaged with us. When a representative had a talk with me about something that's going on and what can he do. And that is just such a great thing for us to have happen in local government when the people that are at the State House and in Congress know what's going on in our town, are there in a moment's notice to help us out. So thank you all for everything you do for the town of Stoughton. We greatly appreciate it, and we don't ignore it. I wish we could get together like this more often. Father Carlos, thank you for being with us. And we also have Chief McNamara. Chief, thank you. I'm a little biased in that, in the police department, guys. I'm sorry, in the fire department, but I do have my son. So, but it's a lot of fun to see people from Stoughton that are now coming into the fire and police department. A lot of folks know Mike Samaco. Mike says he's all set. He doesn't get a ticket now because he's coached every kid there is on the police department. And there's a lot to that, But this is a great time where we come together, and all politics is local. There's times that people in town won't agree on an issue. Sometimes it gets very heated, and at other times, we can all succeed and smile together on the things that we're going to be accomplishing. My members of the board that are here, Steve Cavey is not here yet, Scott Carrara, Deb Roberts, Lou Gito. We're working well together, and that's what it's all about. It is putting differences aside, and I've always said that politics is the art of compromise, and we do that. We're working on some great things. I think within tonight we'll start, and I think very shortly we'll see some other things that have been hanging out there that people in town have been talking about for years that are just starting to be buttoned up right now. So we're going to be getting some great things done there, as well as partnering with developers. Anybody who drives through Stoughton Center, I mean, let's face it, I don't think there's anybody here that says, well, it's not that bad. I mean, it's the worst it's ever looked. We do have a lot of great businesses in downtown that have been there through all this, and we're attracting more. You've seen the housing that's come into town, and that's going to grow as well, but it's also going to grow businesses that support that as well. Looking at some of the city areas, the upper end, it's a higher level, and there's some great things going on there. But not to take away from this event, Chief Carroll, known you a long time, and we've talked here and there at the fire station, and we had a conversation the other day that it really excited me to know where the fire department is going. There's some exciting things going on. So with that, thank you to all the retirees that are here, all the members of the fire department that are here, family, friends, and other folks. There's some department heads here as well, but thank you for all of what you do. It is one family. This is our Stoughton, and these are the times that we shine during those times. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman McCrisky. At this point, I would invite our state delegation to say a few words. And Congressman Lynch, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Grimm. First of all, I want to say thank you, Chief McNamara, Chief Carroll, and members of the police and fire here in Stoughton, thank you for the job that you do every single day. I think that it is a tribute to see so many people here and the entire state delegation here as well, to recognize the daily heroism that we witness among our police and fire personnel. I also want to say a special thank you to the wives and to the families and to the spouses of those who serve the town of Stoughton. My wife's family is a police family. My wife's got 4 brothers-in-law who are police officers in Haverhill, Provo, Utah, 2 down in Florida. And her family has had the tragic moment of losing a brother-in-law in the line of duty in a firefight with a fugitive from justice in Provo, Utah. So not only am I aware of the daily pressures and burdens, but also that moment of tragedy that can be visited upon a family whose family renders public service. And I just want to thank you for your support of your loved ones in doing their jobs each and every day. I have not carried that burden, but I have witnessed it. And I think it's important for every member of our community to remember the weight and the depth of the obligation that you take on when you put on that uniform, either as a Stoughton firefighter or a Stoughton police officer, and the responsibility that is put on your shoulders, and the incredible responsibility that we ask of you each and every single day. So I'm thankful for the opportunity to be here. I know that myself and my colleagues have some gifts. Now, I know in some cases we're recognizing those who have been promoted. So I want to congratulate you on your promotion, your additional responsibility, and your continued wonderful work. But I also, in a deeper sense, want to thank the retirees, those who have already rendered a lifetime and a career of duty to the town of Stoughton. And so many of us have benefited from those careers. So many of us have benefited from the bravery and the courage and the sacrifice that you have made. So I join my colleagues, Senator Timothy, Representative Phillips, Representative Galvin, who I've worked with for a long time. You couldn't have a better group of people advocating on behalf of the firefighters and the police officers of Stoughton than my colleagues. So very grateful for your service, both mid-career and at end of career. We have a sort of a tradition in Congress. These are congressional cufflinks, and they just happen to go very well with dress blues. So in addition to the citations and the recognitions and the kind words that will be offered here today on your behalf, I want to make sure that each of the retirees and each of the promoted officers and firefighters receive those as well. So God bless you all for your service to the town of Stoughton, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.
And now I would like to introduce Senator Walter Timilty to say a few words. Thank you, Senator.
Good evening to Town Administrator Robin Grimm, Select Board, on behalf of Ted Phillips and myself and Rep. Galvin. Thank you very much. We're very proud to be a great part of the Stoughton delegation with Congressman Lynch, of course, as our quarterback. I don't think you mind me using a sports analogy, Congressman. And, of course, Rep. Galvin and Rep. Phillips. It's an honor to work for this town, and it's a double honor to be here tonight to
pay tribute to our first responders. Our police and our fire, each and every one of you, every day you go to work, you lay your lives on the line and are willing to do so happily and with great dedication of the people of this town. So Chief McNamara, of course, Chief Carroll has a nice ring to it. I know there's a great legacy there, Chief, and Skylar did a wonderful job. Congratulations to you and to, of course, our PFFM local. I see President Jim is here, and to each and every one of our retirees. We greatly appreciate everything our retirees have done, and I think you hit on it very well, Congressman. Our retirees, we're paying tribute to your great legacy of service, both in the police and fire over the years. And to our newly promoted chief, assistant chief, and deputy chief, you will always have our undying cooperation and collaboration from Congressman Lynch and, of course, Rep. Galvin and Rep. Phillips. So with that, I would like to congratulate each and every one of our retirees tonight and thank you for what you've done. And to our newly promoted officers in the fire service, each and every person of the fire service and the police department here in town, you've protected us with your service over the years, and tonight you honor us with your presence. So it's a privilege to be here tonight. We thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. And now I would like to ask Police Chief McNamara to join us. The police chief will be reading proclamations to retirees this evening. We have 3 police retirees that we're honoring: Police Patrolman Brian Smith, Police Patrolman Michael Doyle, and Police Patrolman John Hartford. And I believe that Patrolman Smith was not able to attend this evening, but we will have 2. So I would like to ask Police Patrolman Michael Doyle to step up for the reading of the proclamation, and I would ask Congressman Lynch and Representative Phillips, whoever's handing out proclamations, beautiful, to step up as well and join. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Grimm. On behalf of the town of Stoughton, this is a proclamation from the Select Board. Be it proclaimed, whereas Patrolman Michael Doyle graduated from Stoughton High School, class of 1978, and enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps, serving for 15 years while achieving the rank of Gunnery Sergeant, assigned to Jet Repair and Maintenance Unit. And whereas Michael was appointed patrolman for the town of Stoughton in 1995 after graduating from the Municipal Police Training Committee's Canton Police Academy. And whereas Michael was the 2013 recipient of the Meritorious Unit Award, as well as the 2016 and 17 Letters of Merit. And whereas Michael is often described as hardworking and with great attention to detail, and whereas Michael is well respected and always showed a level of respect for his fellow members of the department and the chain of command, and whereas Michael served with honor and distinction as a highly regarded member of the Stoughton Police Department and retired on July 5th, 2021, and whereas the residents of Stoughton are forever grateful for Patrolman Doyle's service. Now therefore, we, Joseph McCrisky, Chairman, Deborah Roberts, Vice Chair, Stephen Cavey, Scott Carrara, and Louis Gito, do hereby urge all citizens to join us with and others townwide to celebrate the accomplishments and retirement of Michael Doyle and his commendable service to the town of Stoughton. In witness thereof, have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the town of Stoughton to be affixed this 3rd day of August, 2021, for the Select Board, Joseph M. McCrisky, Chairman. Thank you. Next, we are going to have Patrol Officer retired John Hartford. Town of Stoughton proclamation, be it proclaimed, whereas Patrolman John Hartford is a graduate of West Roxbury High School, class of 1994, and attended Bridgewater and Quincy colleges. And whereas John attended and graduated from the Transit Police Academy and served as a Boston municipal officer from 1998 to 2005, before joining the Stoughton Police Department family. And whereas John was the recipient of numerous commendations for arrests, investigations, and performances in 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2005. And whereas John received multiple Stoughton Police Department awards, including 2011, 13, 15, and 17, for meritorious unit awards for highly performing investigatory work in narcotic seizures, a commendation in 2016 for one of the largest drug seizures in the history of the Stoughton Police Department, along with being awarded the 2017 Stoughton Police Officer of the Year. And whereas John served with honor and distinction throughout his career and retired in April of 2021, and whereas the residents of Stoughton are forever grateful for Patrolman Detective John Hartford's service. Now, therefore, we, Stoughton Select Board, Joseph McCrisky, Chairman, Deborah Roberts, Vice Chair, Steve Cavey, Scott Carrara, and Louis Gito, do hereby urge all citizens to join with us and the others in town-wide to celebrate the accomplishments and retirement of John Hartford and his commendable service to the Stoughton town. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the town of Stoughton to be affixed on this, the 3rd day of August, 2021. For the Select Board, Joseph M. McCrisky, Chairman.
And if I could ask Chief Carroll to come up. We have 4 firefighter retirements that we are recognizing. Retired Chief Michael Larissy, Captain James Bertram, firefighter Jeff Layden, and firefighter Steve Peck. I would like to ask Captain Bertram, who is here this evening, to join us on stage. So we will just recognize, oh, he's here, he is. Okay. So we're just going to acknowledge Captain Bertram. Thank you. And thank you for your service. So now we come this evening to our promotional ceremony. And I must say, this is always so exciting. And I want to just briefly talk a little bit about this. We have a promotion to Lieutenant of Ryan Cabral, a promotion to Deputy Chief of James Brackett. I want to talk a little bit about the promotion process for those positions. It takes an extraordinary amount of work to study and test for police and fire promotional exams. They are not easy tests. There's just volumes of material to study for in and around doing the work that they do so well. So I want people to understand that it is a very, very challenging process. It takes a tremendous amount of effort and an absolute dedication and commitment for these people to want to work their way up and move their way through fire administration and contribute to their department in that way. And then just very briefly, before we do the promotions to chief and assistant chief, this was a process as well, though a little bit different. It wasn't the formal civil service written test that requires the same type of study. It was a very different type of test. The promotion to assistant chief came off of a series of interviews. We had recently promoted Chief Carroll to assistant chief, I believe about 6 or 7 months ago, after he went through an extensive interview process. When Chief Laracy officially put in for his retirement, we then engaged in a process to select a fire chief. And we brought in an outside assessment center. I knew from the assistant chief's process that we had a significant number of very well-qualified candidates. And I have to tell you, that's a great problem to have so many good candidates that you don't know how you would begin to pick is one of the best problems I could ever wish for. And so we decided we would go with an outside assessment center. We brought in a professional group. We did a preliminary round of interviews with my interview team, which included Chief McNamara and my Human Resources Personnel Director, Deanna Chatsko. We did a preliminary interview with the assessment leader. He agreed that the 4 applicants all were more than worthy of carrying on and moving forward. I will say this, that after the testing, the group said to me personally that we had 4 candidates, all of whom were qualified and capable of being the Stoughton Fire Chief. That tells you about the depth within our department of leadership. And that just for me is such a great feeling. And when we talk about new firefighters coming on board, we have a team of people to mentor these young men and women who come on, as is evidenced by the fact that I had 4 senior members that were qualified to be chief. At the end of the process, the top scorer went to now Chief Carroll. And that was what we went by. That's what we came out with. He scored on top. He had interviewed phenomenally. And it made my decision a little easier, considering the quality that we had. But I knew from working with him as the assistant chief that he really was going to be a top person for this job. He took to the role of assistant chief phenomenally well and very quickly, and is stepping seamlessly into the role of chief. In the meantime, I had met Assistant Chief Maycomber, and I know I always butcher your name. I'm sorry, Macomber or Maycomber. I could choose Maycomber. And what I saw was an absolute perfect match to Chief Carroll. And so when we put together a team, my thought is always I want my top 2 people to have complementary skill sets. And what I have here is a team that I know interact well together and have skill sets that really do complement each other. Assistant Chief Maycomber brings a background from military, so he brings sort of a different insight into things, and Chief Carroll comes from sort of up through those ranks with the guys and has a relationship building ability. And when I put those 2 abilities together, I have a leadership team that I can't lose with. And that makes me extraordinarily happy tonight. Again, the process was challenging. The testing process was challenging, and I congratulate these 2 gentlemen both on scoring so well, and particularly Chief Carroll for achieving that top score. And I could not be happier this evening to be taking part in this, and I'm so excited to work with these 2 gentlemen. With that, I am going to ask our town clerk, Stephanie Carrara, to step to the middle. Stephanie, so what will happen tonight is that Stephanie will read the oath, and you will see me hand the badge to whoever's going to pin the person, and after the oath, and then it becomes, well, it is official, but now then it'll become ceremonially official. Now it's real. And I want to thank the families for being here tonight. This is a huge night, and I know how much you sacrifice for your spouses to reach this level of administration. This does not come easily, and that comes with sacrifice from families as well. So I'd like to ask Chief Carroll to join us on stage and his family. I would like to also point out that Chief Carroll's father was a fire chief in Stoughton, so it's a particularly moving thing for us to have such family. Thank you. if the family would like to come up for a photo, or if you would like to come up for a photo? Yeah, Mom? Of course. You can wait up, Chief. Terrific, thank you. And next will be the swearing in of Assistant Chief Maycomber. Deputy Chief Brackett.
Going to raise your right hand and repeat after me. So, starting with I state your name.
I, James Brackett,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
that I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform all duties
discharge and perform all duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as acting Deputy Chief
as acting Deputy Chief,
for the town of Stoughton, Massachusetts.
Town of Stoughton, Massachusetts.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to
I will bear true faith and allegiance to
and will uphold and defend
and will uphold and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
I will obey and be bound
I will obey and be bound
by such rules and regulations
by such rules and regulations
as are now
as are now
or may be established
or may be established
by the town of Stoughton
by the town of Stoughton
and its fire department.
and its fire department.
I state your name.
I, James Brackett,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will never betray my badge,
that I will never betray my badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
or public trust.
or public trust.
I will always have the courage to
I will always have the courage to
hold myself
hold myself
and others accountable
and others accountable
for our action.
for our actions.
I will uphold the Constitution,
I will uphold the Constitution,
my community,
my community,
and the Stoughton Fire Department,
and the Stoughton Fire Department,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I state your name.
I, James Brackett,
Hereby accept the position of
hereby accept the position of
Acting Deputy Chief
Acting Deputy Chief
for the town of Stoughton.
for the Town of Stoughton.
Congratulations. Congratulations, sir. Lieutenant Cabral. You're going to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ryan Cabral,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge and perform all duties
discharge and perform all duties
incumbent upon me
incumbent upon me
as lieutenant
as lieutenant
for the town of Stoughton, Massachusetts.
for the Town of Stoughton, Massachusetts.
I will bear true faith and allegiance to
I will bear full faith and allegiance to
and will uphold and defend
and will uphold and defend
the Constitution of the United States of America
the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
and the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
I will obey and be bound
I will obey and be bound
by such rules and regulations
by such rules and regulations
as are now
as are now
or may be established
or may be established
by the town of Stoughton
by the Town of Stoughton
and its fire department.
and its fire department.
I state your name.
I, Ryan Cabral,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will never betray my badge,
that I will never betray my badge,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
or the public trust.
or the public trust.
I will always have the courage to
I will always have the courage to
hold myself
hold myself
and others accountable
and others accountable
for our actions.
for our actions.
I will uphold the Constitution,
I will uphold the Constitution,
my community,
my community,
and the Stoughton Fire Department.
and the Stoughton Fire Department.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I state your name.
I, Ryan Cabral,
Hereby accept the position of
hereby accept the position of
Lieutenant
Lieutenant
for the town of Stoughton.
for the town of Stoughton.
Congratulations.
Thank you, everybody, and please feel free at the close of this, after we retire the colors, to go outside, have some cookies and some water and a few light refreshments. We will resume with a select board meeting at 7:15, and for those of you interested, this evening's agenda item, one primary agenda item, is the presentation of what our staff has come up with to present to the board for a new fire station. So it is firefighter and public safety evening tonight, that is for sure. So thank you all. I appreciate your all coming. Congratulations to all, and I look forward to working with the team of gentlemen who were promoted this evening. I'm extraordinarily excited. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.